What's up, y'all? It's your girl JQ, and you are watching Tuned In at 12:01, sponsored by Disbelief Tequila and powered by Life Made Photo. I wanted to create a podcast and a platform that would allow people to come onto the show and drop gems and share their information, whether that be on business, startup, or just various topics that we talk about from day to day. I also wanted to be able to create a platform to bridge the gap and where we could be able to help each other advance as young entrepreneurs and young professionals. So each episode, I will have somebody to come on, whether that be one person or a couple of individuals, and we'll go from there. So this is entertainment, but it's also for you to take something from it and gain. I do have a guest here today. She's an awesome entrepreneur, and she is someone that I work beside pretty often as well. So I'm going to have her come in. I would say my business partner, my friend, who's become my sister, Deidra Scott. She she has a number of hats that she wears, but I met her through her mobile flower cart that she has called Enchante. I know y'all be seeing it on my Instagram. I be posting it, boy. And I'm just very proud of the brand, and I feel very lucky to be a part of the brand with her and grow with her. So I'm gonna let her go into that a little bit more so you can hear from her. Hello.
I'm excited.
Good.
I'm really excited. Hello, my name is Deidra Scott. I am professionally an interior designer, visionary. I recently, during 2020, decided to go independent as a full-time designer and recently launched my first retail concept, which is a mobile flower cart by the name of Enchanté, which is French for nice to meet you. This is where I essentially built a relationship with JQ, and it has been quite the journey. So I am here happy to support her in her endeavors, seeing where this goes, hopefully being able to share some experiences that I've had, she's had throughout our course of entrepreneurship, growth, and leveling up in areas in our life. So I'm ready to dive into it. So.
Yes, we met, we both were casted to shoot for this brand here that came to Memphis.
Yeah.
A brand owned by 3 black men, entrepreneurs here, and we instantly clicked. So one day she hit me up and she was like, "Can you please come help me work my cart today?" And I was like, "Duh." Like, cause I just got a vibe from her that I could take and learn so much from her. So I greatly appreciate you seeing that in me and wanting to work and invest in me.
Thank you.
And I hope this episode can show you guys the power of women working together. Like, there's no competition with us. Whatever I need from Deidra, I feel open and comfortable to ask her about. And there's just a lot that she pours into me that I never even thought to question. So hopefully this episode can give you guys some insight on how you can go and build together as women in this business. But of course, we got to start the show with shots. Like, there's no better way to get a conversation going and get it open. So we're gonna start.
Let's do it.
And we got reposado today. I'm more of a Blanco girl. Oh my gosh, I like clear, but I like all tequila. I'll put it at that.
I'll go with the brown. Are we all taking a shot collectively?
Yeah, Jonathan, are you open to taking a shot?
That's cool.
Let's do it. I'll give you one of my cups.
Jonathan really didn't have no choice.
Yeah. I want to do it mostly to try the twang salt with it.
Yeah, and I brought beer salt, you know.
Thank you, Disbelief. I'm really excited to try this.
Yeah, let's see. Thank you, guys. I really appreciate Disbelief Tequila. They are the bomb. And
you gotta pour another. That was Jonathan.
Oh, okay, you're right.
I'm sorry. I just poured it at the camera.
He didn't already start. And I don't play. I'm a bartender. Get you drunk every time.
But I think you shared with me that we have to do at least 3. So if you want me to do 3, I'm gonna sip and count this as 2.
Take at least a shot.
Can I have some twang salt?
Already?
Okay, don't worry. We'll just get into it. Let's just get.
Cheers, guys.
Cheers.
You gotta tap me. Boom. What you think?
It's very smooth.
Okay, that's what I hear.
That's very smooth. I like that.
I'm a chaser girl. I always gotta chase.
And I didn't have to this time, so I'm actually impressed. That's actually really smooth.
You think
and
it's
I
sweet?
I won't say over like sweet. I don't really do sweet liquors or tequilas, but that I can taste. Is it agave that's mixed? That is blended? I like that.
Agave is what makes it sweet.
That reminds me of a great brand that I really enjoy. So shout out to Disbelief. I really like that.
Thank
and
you,
I'm
guys.
being honest on that one.
So I pretty much want to start the first topic off with how did you get into the mobile flower cart business and what made you want to start this?
So in 2020, when everything was at pause,
Right.
I made the decision that I wouldn't go back to work for anyone. I was excited that I had the opportunity. Something about that moment just felt like, wow, everything shut down. So what can I now focus on that feels like something, purposeful and meaningful and liberating to who I am and what I want to put out into the world. So it was in that moment that I just really wasn't trying to seek and find my next hustle. I always knew interior design was a way to, my livelihood. It was a way to allow me to be creative. So I never was just looking for the next concept.
Right.
But I'll be honest. One evening I was watching Emily in Paris, which is a Netflix series.
I haven't seen it yet.
It's all Paris theme and about her journey of entrepreneurship as well.
Okay.
So it's a really good sitcom or a TV show that kind of just gave me some different scenery and cultural experiences that she was encountering in Paris, London. So I essentially just literally, I think in some B-roll footage, caught a flower stand at a shop or something, and that caught my eye, and I was like, flower cart. It just came to me, just hit, just like that, flower cart. Didn't know where that was going. Started thinking on it, pondering about like, why is this resonating with me? I don't know anything about flowers. I don't know about how to create bouquets. Nothing about the floral industry. So it intrigued the thought. It was just literally an idea that I literally start from a sketch. I drew it out, mapped it out, and the designer, architect in me was just kind of like, you can build this. And it just became interesting about the business. Like, wow, I thought of a business concept. So that's what intrigued me the most, was like, you have something that is creative, everybody can identify with them,
Right.
and it literally became an idea that launched into now what we have here.
And that's so interesting that you talked about how like you never were a florist, you never put bouquets together. And it's like she brought me on the team, taught me how to create bouquets, how to nurture them, how to take care of flowers. Like I tell her all the time, I'm like, we are like trap florists, like period, because
I like that.
And I love it because I've never seen here in Memphis Black women do that. Like stand on the corner downtown by Peabody and
in the freezer cold.
Or and when it's really hot, like
nice weather,
and provide people with a service that they haven't had here before in Memphis. And I just thought that was so unique. But also I want to touch on the hardships. Like today we worked together and I was just moved by, like what you said earlier, the resilience in entrepreneurship and how difficult it can be and the challenges, but how you keep pressing forward. So I don't know if you want to touch into that a little bit, but today, had I not believed in her vision and what I seen with this brand after what we dealt with, I would have been like, damn girl, I don't know. Maybe you should go in a different direction, but things were going left and I was like, let's keep going. Like, how do we keep doing this, you know? And personally, as someone that used to play sports and be a captain or a team player, it just shows like how much support can keep pushing you towards your vision and your goals. So you want to touch on that, like just how the hardships of the business and how you continue to grow from there.
Yeah, I definitely think that it builds a thicker skin. When you really want the life and the accomplishments and the success to, how you envision when you get that very first idea, like that passion, your why that's generated during that process of me sitting down watching Emily in Paris. I think that when you start seeing where it can take you, some of the problems that come along with you, it'll put you on your ass. Yeah. It'll knock you down. It'll cut and bruise. But I've never been the type that just let anything really defeat me. So it was just, for one, in my personality, but then also as new things were coming about that you just couldn't imagine that would happen. Right. It teaches you how to really think in those moments and be strategic and have, just how to be quick on your feet to coming up with solutions. Yeah. And that's not an easy task. Yeah. I think that working through hardships takes you being not only, having the strength, but also being able to be very strategic in those moments and coming up with solutions, because at the end of the day, not only is it your business that's at risk, but you have liabilities. You have people to also be responsible for, even though they are just as, supportive and they got their own, and, you're very intelligent in terms of being able to support and contribute to a solution. It's just, you still have this weight on you that's like, I got, everybody is like, this is your baby. Yeah, so just figure it out.
When we worked together the last time, that incident that happened with the car situation, like being liable for other people amongst you. Like, we literally, we live in Memphis, y'all. Y'all know how they get down here in Memphis. Like, you got to be on your P's and Q's, stay on your Q's and your P's. Like, we literally almost saw... We seen some dudes try to take this man's SRT right in front of us like a Hellcat. And, that's like the scam going on right now. But, as we're working and focused on what we're doing, we kind of not really paying attention to it. You have to always be aware, and that to me, just as an entrepreneur that's growing, it has to be a lot to think about. Like, I'm responsible for these people around me. Yep. Like, they trust me to know that I'm going to put them in a position where they are comfortable. So... I think that's very important. That was a big piece of it. But
and that's also having the right team too. So, as a owner, entrepreneur, you can't take on every pressure and burden. Right. But, identifying in who the people you're working with and the team that you're building, they have to have a sense of self-awareness to who they are and what they're here for. Right. I'm new to managing and owning my own business, but at the same time, I want people around me that also have that idea of, what they want for themselves and what they're going for in life. Because if you have no why, it's a job. Yeah. It's just you trying to see what you can get from the opportunity that that we're working on. So I don't necessarily do well with team members that don't have a sense of self-awareness, because that does take you having to know your surrounding. That does take you having to be, sensible to moments and knowing how to engage with people, knowing how to cut off with people. So I always identify in my team members and people that I work with, their train of thought. Can they think? Can they be self-aware and, owning up to what it is that they,
You think I'm quick on my feet?
Yeah. Have you met you?
All right. Well, yeah. So we're going to move on to the next topic, but before we do that, shot o'clock. Are you ready?
We just did it.
Yeah.
Okay, come on.
Oh, you're making me proud.
This time the twang, for sure.
You can go ahead and put it on you. Get that beer salt. It keeps you a little sober.
The beer salt with the tequila. I love it. It goes with everything. I put this shit on everything. That's so country. Did I just do that?
It's okay. I can't. But I ain't going to edit it out.
I am a country girl. I'm Memphis raised, but my folks are Mississippi.
I guess we can touch into that too. Like, you want to tell where you're from?
I'm from Whitehaven. I am literally born on Fairley Road. I'm a proud Bulldog. Like, that's my family. That's my heritage. That's where I grew up. I have so many memories on Fairley Road. It was the core of my surrounding, but also growing up in a household of you make the best of what you have. I went without.
Literally.
We never felt like we were struggling. We never felt like we were poor, but we were in that shit. But it never felt like that because my mom always my parents made, they brought joy and it was peaceful in our home.
Yeah.
Strict, religious. I grew up in church. So I was very strict and bound, heavily in the church environment. But it really shaped me to being diverse from different angles and how to identify with my own community. And then it just kind of made me just kind of want to know what's beyond this. So,
and that's why I like working. That's what I like about working with you is that I feel like you have a mindset where like, no matter what the situation is, you're always going to be positive. And you're going to try to find a way to work around everything, So, cheers to that, homegirl.
Cheers.
Proud of you.
Clink, clink, clink.
I'm going to chase with the beer sauce.
The beer top takes away from it. It's such a smooth, it doesn't need it. It doesn't need it.
I'm a lightweight, y'all. Okay, so the next topic we're going to get into is basically, working with other women entrepreneurs and how you can advance from there, how we can benefit one another. Because as women, I feel like the bad part about it, the con, can be that we see each other as competition, and that's not how it should be. So what can we do to like uplift other women to show them that, you have your identity and I have my identity, but we can still come together and create something great. So how important do you think that is to work with other women that are entrepreneurs?
Very important.
Okay.
I think that to address your first thought in terms of how we see each other in competition, I think that starts with, really honing in on who you are and, setting aside a lot of the flaws that we all have between insecurities, jealousy, any intimidation. Those are natural feelings, but how you overcome and deal with them is really how you are able to stand out and be better at working together with one another. If I address me at the beginning of the day, I can handle you. I can handle other, because we all come with some strength. We all come with some weakness. So when we own and know who we are in strengths and weaknesses, it makes us better to be able to say and humble yourself. Humble yourself.
Yes, for sure.
We carry too much pride and ready to present all of the best parts of us when it really only shows the weakness in us because we're so ready to flex. So I just think that if we can address ourselves from an individual standpoint, we'll see the importance in the bigger picture and how powerful we can be building together. We already have enough against us, women, black women, minority women. There's enough that's already been targeted at us in terms of, what we're capable of. And I'm just speaking based on community and local. Right. I think this is something that we're still kind of struggling with where our surrounding area is not. I think it's expanded and grown a little bit.
And I feel like as a young woman that is growing in entrepreneurship, that has been like one of my most difficult things is getting over the fact that, everybody is not going to want to work with you, but that may not have nothing to do with you.
Correct.
And, personally, I have grown to learn that I don't want to be the smartest person in the room. Like, I want to be able to take something from somebody and be able to put that forth to what I'm learning. I feel like entrepreneurship, as an entrepreneur, really, you are like, ever evolving, is that what you say? Ever evolving, like teammate, like you are continuously growing and giving something to it. But where am I going with this?
You said a good point though. Remaining a life learner, and that takes humility. That takes being, setting the pride aside.
And I feel like it's kind of difficult for some people to do that. So you got to find the right team that is willing to, put pride to the side and say, hey, let me step back and be a follower. Like I said that day at Small Business Saturday, you got to know when to lead, but you also got to know when to take a step back and be quiet and take from the person. Everybody brings something to the table that's important. What are your strengths, and know where to put people so that they can hone in on those strengths.
And when you go ahead, I'm sorry.
And where whatever your weaknesses are, what are my strengths so that I can cover up that weakness.
Correct.
So
correct. It starts with education too. I think that we don't research and educate ourselves enough. We take on a role and position of leadership and boss, whatever you want to classify it as. But, that takes a lot of research and education and reading and studying and analyzing and watching and having mentorship. And it's a lot of knowledge that comes behind knowing what a great leader possesses. Like most leaders aren't really... They do. They're in the midst of the hardest parts to, taking on a team and carrying people. You get where my thought is going.
Yeah.
But what I'm trying to say is, we're so proud to be the boss and we forget that with them being the head, you have to be the tail sometimes, and that takes listening. That takes following the person that is working under you. That takes sometimes hearing a person. And it's just, I don't know how to make that make sense, but before you can be prideful in the moments of just saying, I'm proud to be the entrepreneur, the boss, you have to know how to be the tail first.
All right, and so before we get into our last topic, we're going to take one more shot. Boss up, Big D. Let's go.
Cheers. Let's see.
I'm never turning down a shot. I'm probably lying. But all right. So now we're going to get into the juicy topic. The last topic is the hardships of dating, like finding the right partner when you are a businesswoman. Like, because I feel like it's like this popular conversation going around right now about this man talking about once a woman gets successful, he don't really want to deal with her. You seen that? You seen that? I know you seen that because it's on my timeline, so I know it's on your timeline.
Yeah,
Okay.
Well,
Yeah. So, anyways, how do you go about maneuvering in relationships or trying to find a solid partner when men could easily be intimidated by the woman you are, or they can add to the woman you are?
I like when men get intimidated by me.
Ooh.
I'm a Libra, and so it's not, when I say that, it's always interesting to me to see where I can find balance with a person, like how we match each other. But to answer your question, I don't really pay attention to that. I don't focus. I don't let that be. I don't make it a concern of mine in order enough to say it affects me.
Okay.
Because at the end of the day, what's gonna find me who he is, he's gonna find me. And the men that I date and the men that I have encountered, it's just intriguing in terms of getting to know who they are and how I can, in the same way of getting, establishing a relationship with anybody, I want to know about you. I want to know about, what matters to you.
We just talked about that.
So it doesn't interest me to know if I intimidate you or not. If I do, and it's that bad to where you're that insecure, I'm not the woman for you. Because I know how to own my own. I know what I'm looking for. I know what I want to pursue in life. And I don't say that to be like, I don't need a man. And I don't, I'm a woman. I need a man. And
Thank you.
But if I intimidate you, you're not a man for me. You're not the man for me. If
love
I intimidate you, because I know my femininity. I know how to, So it's intriguing. I like to put you on the spot, but then I also like to play it soft and let you kind of lead me.
Okay. Well, okay.
I'm still single.
Shit, me too, guys.
I
But
don't know.
I think I also find it important to, just like how you want to be in a room with people that know more, find a partner that kind of knows more. You know, which you can't always guarantee that, but you know, I feel like certain women are worth the investment, and you can put it into them, and you know, y'all grow together. You can put something in her and you teach her. You know, I would love to be around a male that has kind of definitely gained that experience. Not kinda. You have the experience to where you can teach me to grow as a young woman and a young professional, and then I make myself better, and collectively we are better. But is that all you want to say? Because I want to end this off with 3 questions that just come to mind and see how you answer them.
Sure. I guess, just don't go in with so much expectation. Like, I think that when it comes to getting to know a man and getting to, date, it's all about the experience of understanding, each other, but not expecting for them to just come in with this, plethora of information in terms of how I can help and service you.
Right.
I think a lot of us as women, we hold the position of thinking that a man's supposed to just roll out with all of this, but there's a balance to that versus coming in with so much expectations of it. See where it goes.
So I like astrology. I'm a Sagittarius.
And I'm a Libra.
Yeah, she's already said that. That's what kind of put it in my head.
So
tell me your favorite sign that you've encountered relationship-wise. What sign do Dee like?
I have to say, as much as they piss me off, I like a good Libra and Gemini man. They're my balance.
Yeah. So you like yourself?
I like myself. No, but Libra men, they're different. Gemini men are a little bit more well balanced to a Libra because they're just as all over the place, and we know how to find that harmony and sync with each other. I've met great men in different, zodiac signs. Like, don't get me wrong, my first love was a Taurus. But you had a different experience with the Taurus. But that's the harmony in a Libra. Like, we find balance. But I think that for where I am right now, I like the mysterious and the interest in the Gemini Libra man. I like the mysterious parts to them. So
okay.
Yeah.
And next question. 2022, where do you see your brand by the end of 2022?
End of 22, I see myself in a new market. I see myself establishing a second location in Cart. I really do see myself elevating in just a new environment, and hopefully that, just a new level of wealth that I haven't seen and imagined for myself. It all comes to me because I do believe I deserve that.
Amen. I agree.
Thank you.
And lastly, drop some gems on the horse for me. Okay?
Gems?
Yeah. What's some advice that you would give a young woman, maybe just coming out of high school? You know how our parents push us to believe college is the way to go. What if she's like, no, I'm ready to start a business. I'm ready to get my feet wet. What's some advice you would give a young entrepreneur that is just starting out?
That's a good question. It's a really good question. Everybody's experience is different. I would probably say if you have the resources, learn how to utilize them. If you have the ability to, save, own your own money, save your money, be smart and strategic with your funds. Just put yourself in the best position that would allow you to make smart moves. You don't have to be perfect. You don't have to have it all figured out. But when you do have that idea, when you do have a plan in mind, consult with your higher source and execute with strategy. Yeah.
I think that's super important. You said utilize your resources. I think that's something that I've definitely learned this year alone. It's just March, and like, had I been more willing to say like, I need help, like, I don't know everything, you know, as a Sag, I feel like sometimes I feel like I won't say I know everything, but I don't want to ask for help. This year alone, I've gotten so much further in what I'm trying to do just by saying like, can you help me? How do you feel like I should go about doing this? So I think that's super important.
I still struggle with that.
Yeah.
I still struggle with asking for help. So if you are bold in that way, be vocal.
Yeah.
Don't be afraid to say I need help. But also don't be that person that's just, you know, I need help because I don't want to figure it out. You know, think it through, figure it out. And if you meet a brick, you know, wall and you're just kind of like stuck, that's the moment you know, utilize your resources. And
Yeah. Okay, you know, I made sure we had great dinner before we came.
amazing dinner.
So we have to take another shot before you go. Before we close this out, we're going to take one more shot. Make sure y'all get y'all some Disbelief tequila.
It's really good. It actually is. Yeah.
When it's,
Can I pour my own?
I guess.
May I pour my own? Is that the right?
You could just say, I'm going to pour my own. I'll let you.
Thank you. Shout out to Disbelief.
Good job.
This is it. This is it.
I don't promote it on my story for nothing.
Well,
like I don't promote my photographer, videographer on my story for nothing either.
You did that.
I don't play behind my team.
Respectfully.
Cheers.
Cheers. This was fun. How do you take that so fast?
Because I'm a tequila
Teach me
girl.
how to
tequila
go
mommy.
Like, I was gonna take that.
I try to drink it really quick so I can follow up with that chaser, and then I never remembered it. You know, let's see what I come through with that afterward. All right, we're gonna go ahead and close out. Dee, thank you so much for just being on this podcast. One of my first guests on the show. Thank you for what you taught me. Thank you for believing in me, and thank you for what you shared today. And you have anything else to say? Girl?
I'm proud of you.
Thank you.
This went very well. Much success.
Thank you.
You have everything. I mean, personality to conversation. You have a good spirit. So I wish you the very best with this.
But don't play with me. But don't try. But okay, y'all. I'm gonna close from there. Thank you so much. Is she laughing? But I be serious. That's what I tell everybody. But thank y'all so much for tuning in. You done?
Are you done or are you finished?
See, this is where it gets bad.
We're drunk at this point.
And I'm gonna keep this in here.
Well, I wasn't
Alright.
drunk, but
I'm not drunk because I gotta drive.
I feel great. Now that's the one thing about that. It's a upper.
It don't make you. It's not.
I don't feel sluggish.
It don't feel like cheap. It's not. Well, it ain't cheap at all. Find this at your local store. Cordova off of Jackson. Anyways,
Okay.
look it up yourself. But
Disbelief.
anyways, y'all. Thanks so much for tuning in. You are now watching Tune In at 12:01. I have so many ideas for this show, so you never know who you're gonna see on here next. Could be your favorite person, could be somebody. You never know. But I thank you guys for supporting me. Make sure you like, follow, subscribe, send me some ideas of people you want to see on here. And yeah, that's about it. Why are you looking like that, Jonathan?
Bye.
Bye, guys. You are now watching Tuned In at 12:01. Oh, and big shout out to my sponsors, Disbelief Tequila and Life Made Photo. Thank you guys so much for believing in me and whatever you see in me, because I see it in myself. I'm glad you see it too. I really mess with you guys. I love y'all. So
Don't forget the skincare, because I mean,
what's skincare?
did you say that you wanted to? Never mind. Because the skin is popping. And
I'm being modest today.
okay.
That's why I be telling her, pop your shit, girl. I know she's not talking. She's very modest. But yeah, love you guys. And follow me on Instagram too at tuned in at 1201. I got a YouTube channel where you're watching this right now. Make sure you subscribe. And that's it. You are now watching Tuned In at 1201.
This was fun.
Please. Peace out, guys.